Witchbolt sucked. Does it still suck in the 2024 update, or did it get fixed? Greetings, YouTube. The Doctor is in. Dr. Urius Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And today we are going to talk about the updated version of the Dungeons and Dragons spell Witchbolt. Now, here is the original Witchbolt from the 2014 edition. Back when I initially reviewed this, we gave this a big C-, which was being very, very generous. I will make no excuses about this spell. I didn't like it. I hated it. I never used it. I thought it was terrible. and it still is terrible after I have relooked at it. But we're going to look at this compared to the new version. So the original version, first level spell, 1 action, range of 30 feet, which was not great. Concentration lasted for a minute. It did lightning damage. So spell went off. You made a ranged spell attack. If you hit, you did 1d12 damage, which was not great. And then on each of your turns for the duration, you could use your action, and that was the worst part of this spell. Because all you were doing was using your action, and you got an extra d12 of damage. It just did damage automatically, but you had to stay within 30 feet. The target couldn't go behind total cover, and you only did a d12. Now, you could upcast this for more damage. So, if you upcast this all the way to a 9th level spell, you could do 9d12 damage every round. Now, that's not bad. But it's still to a single creature, and it still eats your action every turn. All right, so let's look at the new Witchbolt right here. So still a first level spell, still in action, has a range of 60 feet. That is awesome. They doubled the range. That is totally awesome. Verbal, somatic, and material component, still the same as that. Still 1 minute concentration spell, still lightning damage. Okay, so you cast a spell, you make a ranged spell attack. On a hit, you do 2d12 damage now instead of 1d12. And on each of your subsequent turns, you can take a bonus action to deal 1d12 damage to the target automatically, even if the first attack missed. So, with this one, if you missed, make a ranged spell on a hit, and on each of your turns, you do automatic. So if you missed, I guess you could interpret this one way or the other. My interpretation of this is if you missed, you were done. That was it. This one, even if you missed, you're still going to do this damage. The range doubled, the damage doubled, and it went from an action to a bonus action. So the original spell, we gave a C-. This spell, I'm going to give this spell an A- now. Again, the spell ends if it's ever outside the range or it goes into total cover, and you can upcast this. So now, if you cast this at 9th level, it is going to do 10d12 damage initially, and then 9d12 damage every single round with a bonus action, which means you can still slam the target with other spells. Now, with this spell gets even better when it is paired up with all the new kind of class features and classes in some of these other spells. So, obviously, this spell is usable by sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards. It is naturally good with the sorcerer. Now, it's a roll to hit. There's no saving throws. So, your innate sorcery gives you advantage on attack rolls with this, which is awesome. And your metamagic feats can also be good on this. So, distance spell, empower spell. When you roll damage for a spell, you can spend 1 sorcery point to reroll damage up to your charisma modifier, and you must use the new rolls. So it's when you roll damage for a spell. It doesn't say when you cast a spell, it just says for a spell. You don't really need to heighten this because there's no saving throws. You could quicken it. There is that. Seeking is another thing you could use with this if you want to hit initially, but it doesn't really matter if you hit with the initial volley or not, because it's going to do damage every round no matter what. You could change the the type from lightning over to something else if you wished. So all of these are good. Why I do like Wild Magic Sorcerer. They can get this. The Ben Luck part doesn't really do a whole lot. I do like the Wild Magic Sorcerer table for this as well. Now, the Warlock class, I like the Hexblade for this. Obviously, you get the Hexblade's curse, so you get a bonus to damage rolls against the cursed target, and attacks you make against the target crit on a 19 or 20. This could crit. So, so anytime you make a damage roll, you get a bonus anytime, which means every round you're doing this, you're getting a bonus to that. Hex, until the spell ends, you deal an extra d6 damage whenever you hit a target with a attack roll. So that only applies for the first one. And Hunter's Mark, again, another one, applies extra damage when you hit. So on subsequent rounds from the first round, you're not rolling to hit. But you are doing extra damage. I think the Hexblade is an excellent, excellent choice for this. So as a bonus action, choose one creature you can see within 30 feet. The target is cursed for 1 minute. It ends if the target dies, you die, or is incapacitated. So you just have to hit him with the curse, and then you witch bolt them, and then it's done. It doesn't matter how far away they go at that point. Now, hexing, again, this is a concentration spell. This is a concentration spell. This is a concentration spell. So it's not really going to help out so much. But this is not concentration. In addition, it is also usable by wizards. And, I don't know if wizards have a great option for this. Maybe the Evoker. There is the Sculpt spell, which that's for area of effect. Whenever you cast a wizard spell from the Evocation, and this is Evocation, you can add your intelligence modifier to 1 damage roll of that spell. So that's not great. And the Diviner class, the Portent doesn't really... I guess it would do something if you were trying to hit. That would be the place I would go to for that. But, for the most part, this is a great spell that, if I'm going through my 4... questions that I ask about a spell. So, can I use this spell every combat? That is, how easy is it to use? Yes, absolutely. It's initially an action, and then it's a bonus action afterwards. Very easy to use. Whereas the prior spell was not easy to use because it was an action every turn. So the second question, will I use this spell every combat relative to other spells? Absolutely. I would start out with this one. I could then continue to do damage with this one while I was using a bonus action, and then I could use my other action to cast other spells. So kind of get the double effects. Is this going to have an impact on the build of my character? Absolutely. It is a very good damaging spell. You might want to build a damaging character type. And is this going to have an impact on the adventuring party? Well, it's not going to control. It's not a control spell, but it is a damaging spell, and it does quite a bit of damage. You can make it do quite a bit of damage. So I think yes, the answer to that question is yes. It is going to have an impact on the adventuring party. It is not going to end a combat, so that's why I'm not giving it an A to an S, but it is going to be something that is going to influence combat every single round. And just by the mere fact that this is now a 60-foot range and a bonus action makes this spell awesome. All right, that is what I have for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody.